Hi, Sutonia here for eveiseasy. This is kind of a re-upload because I've done this video before about 2 months ago on my channel, but the audio quality was really bad and unsalvageable. So a few of you may have seen this video before. Anyway, in this video I want to show you a few implants at a much lower price than what they typically should be for the stats that they give. Obviously prices, demand and supply need change, and the prices may not be accurate sometime after this video has been made, although the majority of these implants have stayed around the same ballpark for the past 2 years. Aside from a few of them, which is mostly the medium damage implants, which went up in price when the cruiser rebalance happened in Retribution. These implants are great for soloing in 0-0 because they're very cost effective even if you get podded. They're also great for new players or players without much ISK looking to gain an advantage. So starting from the lowest slot first, which is slot number 6. First of all, we have the 3% Frigate gun implants, which is the small hybrid, small energy turret and small projectile turret. They give you 3% damage. Normally 3% implants cost 10 million ISK, and these only cost 500,000 ISK. So they're good for picking up on anything that uses frigate guns. So a lot of frigates, they're just great for picking up on. If you're flying interceptors, you should probably be using these, or flying an assault frigate. So they don't cost very much. And we also have the shield upgrades implant, which is it's kind of niche because it goes in the same slot that the 1% power grid implant goes in. This reduces the cost of shield extenders by 3%. So normally it saves about the same grid as buying a 1% power grid implant gives you. But this one in particular costs 80,000 ISK. Next, in the slot 6 category, we have the Noble Repair Systems. It reduces armor repair time by 3%, which is good for picking up on anything which uses active armor, which normally wouldn't benefit from the frigate damage implants. And this clocks in at 500,000 ISK. Finally, in slot 6 category, we have the 3% Mccullough speed implant. It's a bit more expensive at around 3 million ISK than the other ones, but it's still cheaper than a third of the price that you'd pay for the 3% to ship speed implant in the same category, which occupies the same slot. Slot 7 is pretty lonely. The only real value implant here is the 3% reduction in remote armor repair cap activation. There really is no excuse not to pick this up if you're flying an armor logistic though, because there isn't any other implant in slot 7 that's going to help you aside from an agility implant. It's also dirt cheap at 200,000 ISK. So slot 8 has the 5% turret implants, which are by far the most expensive implants in this actual container. They make up 90% of the cost. They range from about 15 to 35 million. The hybrid one is a lot cheaper because it actually has double the drop rate, because all these implants come from storyline missions, I believe, but both the Kodai and Galanti ones give the hybrid implant. Normally 5% implants cost around 110 million, so they're less than a third of the price. We also have my personal favourite implant in this slot, which is the 3% to whole hit point implant. It's useful on a large variety of ships and costs less than 500,000 ISK. Finally, in slot 8 we have the shield Omission implant, which is worth picking up if you're flying a shield logistic, very similar to the armor repair one in slot 7. Slot 9 has the 3% micro warp drive cap use implant. This again is useful on a large variety of ships and it costs only 1 million ISK. It's great for getting that Condor or kiting ship that's just barely unstable into cap stability. And the last implant in slot 9 is the 3% to turret optimal range. It's cheap at a bit more than 500,000 ISK, and it's a nice pickup if you're not going to buy a turret damage implant for slot 9. The 1% to 6% turret damage implants are in slot 9. So this one is a bit more situational, but it's a nice cheap pickup if you're flying a slicer or a railgun ship, or a cormorant, something along those lines. And last but not least, slot 10 has 3% CPU reduction for turret implant. This is a great implant for getting a turret ship to fit that just needs that tiny bit more CPU. Slot 10 also doesn't have that many useful implants if you're not a passive armor tank or flying a ship with battleship turrets, so it's a nice pickup for 2 million ISK, just to round out any sort of implant set. Yeah, I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.